is a beautiful country of rich traditions, fascinating cultures and extraordinary ecosystems. From Sakonnakhon all the way to Gotlandar, Thailand Fantastic unearth the unique qualities of Thailand's people, wildlife and landscapes. In this episode, we meet the Urak Lawois, who live nomadic lives fishing with traps around the Lantar Islands. It is December. Tang Tun and his friends are gathering on the beach before daybreak. They are about to set out into the sea to lay a newly finished fishing instrument. It has been 15 days since Tang Tun left several fish traps under the sea, and they are due to be retrieved today. On this trip, he's going to add 2 more traps. He is bringing several boxes of ice along, hoping to return with a boat full of fish. They are heading out into the vast expanse of the sea, their destination being an underwater rock pile over 10 kilometres away. Tang Tun hopes this trip's catch will be worth the fuel and other expenses, including his friends' wages. An hour or so later, his boat is at the trap-laying site. Tang Tun is looking for the exact spot where he laid the traps 2 weeks ago. Such is his expertise in relocating his trap-laying spot that he observes intersecting sight lines between islands and rock piles in order to accurately identify the right place. Once at the spot, he drops the trap into the water. This is their only means of livelihood. These people are the Urak Lawois, nomads of the Lantar Islands. Their forefathers sailed throughout the Andaman Sea before settling down on these islands long ago. Today, Tang Tun is planning to do something. He is leaving home on his sidecar motorcycle, heading for the tip of the island. The Lantar Islands are located in the Andaman Sea, in the southern Thai province of Krabi. The islands have a total area of around 150 square kilometres. The Urak Lawoi people live in scattered settlements in the northwest and southeast strips of the island. Today, there are estimated to be around 500 of these nomads on the islands. These indigenous people once moved about between islands in the Andaman Sea, with fishing as their only means of making a living. But due to economic changes, these sea nomads have had to settle down on the islands. Nobody knows for certain when the Urak Lawois first inhabited the Lantar Islands. But in the 15th century, when Arabian and Malay merchants sailed to this area to trade with the locals, they found these sea nomads were already living here. The merchants named the locals Urang Lantar, which means people of Lantar. After the Lantar Islands and the islets in their vicinity were declared part of the Lantar Islands Marine National Park in 1990, these seafarers' livelihood was faced with more restrictions. As fishing within the confines of the park is prohibited, they cannot make their living catching animals near the coastline, meaning they have been forced to fish further offshore. Inventing a trap for deep-sea fishing is therefore their only means of sustaining themselves and their families. The most suitable material for such a trap is wood from myrtle trees, which grow in abundance on the islands. And understanding their need to make a living, local authorities generally allow these sea tribesmen to cut down the trees to build fish traps. We may have enough for 2 traps. Known as sai, this fish trap is an oblong fishing instrument made from a myrtle wood frame covered with a woven aluminium net, with a small one-way hole that allows fish to enter but not to exit. Formerly, a sai was small in size and used only for coastal fishing, but as the coastal area has become part of the park, the locals have needed to invent larger traps that can be laid in deeper water outside of the park's boundaries. Today, Dang Dun is accompanied by a helping hand, a trawl weaver. On is Dang Dun's close friend. He is from Sanka'u village, but he helps Dang Dun make his traps. In the past, a trawl or cast net could be used to make a small trap, but with a larger one, they use aluminium wires, which are more durable and more convenient to mend. Within 2 days, their new sai has been made. That evening, Dang Dun takes the trap to the beach, ready to put it on the boat before the first light of dawn. Their second sai has been dropped into the water. They weigh the trap with sacks of stones to make sure it sinks to the right spot. Now Dang Dun is diving down to secure the trap to the seabed. These sea nomads dive without any scuba equipment, but what makes it very risky is their use of a diving mask with a drilled hole connected to an air pump through a hose. They must ensure the pump's fuel tank is full and that there are no leaks in the hose and the mask. It is a matter of life and death. Dang Dun has been diving his whole life, but before every dive, he still checks everything is in order. While Dang Dun and his friend are diving, those on the boat must make sure the hoses don't get tangled.
อันตรายมากแต่เครื่องมันดับถ้าว่าทางใหญ่นี่มันจะรู้ถ้าว่าทางเล็กๆนี่พอดับปุ๊บลมมันจะหมดเลยเราจะรู้เลยคนใต้น้ำนี่มันจะรู้เลยลมเนี่ยจะค่อยๆหมดไปเรื่อยๆแต่ว่าทางเล็กๆปุ๊บเดียวพุทธันกับท่านไม่ท่านกับ
Dang Dun is going into the water below, holding on to the anchor chain. This area is more than 30 metres beneath the surface. Finally, they have made it to the seabed. They have to move the trap onto a sandy area before securing each of its corners to the seafloor to prevent it from being washed away by the current. With the new trap fastened, they start looking for the one they laid earlier. Dang Dun is holding the anchor, and his friend is using a rock as a weight to ease their underwater walk. Dang Dun is certain another trap, which he laid 15 days ago, should be close by. But it seems the current has moved it elsewhere. So he and his companion keep walking in search of it, hoping it's not too far away. There, it's right there. At last they've found it. But there are few fish in it and hardly any commercial fish. They might have to leave it there a little longer. Dang Dun decides to surface. They have been underwater for too long. Being at a great depth for too long is very harmful to the body. Under pressure, gases like nitrogen are compressed and absorbed into body tissues. If the diver makes too rapid an ascent, the dissolved gases will cause a painful decompression sickness known as the bends, which may be fatal if not treated in a timely manner. This sickness is known among these sea nomads as water squeeze.
บางทีมือยกไม่รอดแขนยกไม่รอดสองข้างบางทีมึน หน้ามืดอะไรมันก็เวลานำบีบครับบางทีก็ถ้าปรับได้ก็ลงไปปรับลงไปครึ่งน้ำมันสมัยก่อนมันไม่รู้เท่าไม่ถึงการบางทีก็ไอ้นี่ทำไมไม่รอดจริงๆกันนู้นสมกับภูเก็ตวชิระไปปรับแกวชิระแกบอลลูนมันเช้าแกมันเช้าเรียวันนี้ก็ไม่เอาตังค์ถ้าเอาตังค์ก็ไม่รู้เอาตังค์ไหนไปจ่ายนำบีบไปพอนำออกขึ้นลงน้ำแบบว่าเราว่านกแล้วไม่รอดจริงๆแล้วลงไปปรับ3-4 รอบเราว่าแน่นอนแล้วเป็นอัมพฤกษ์แน่แล้วอัมพาต
Having ascended with decompression stops to prevent nitrogen bubbles, Dang Dun and his companion are going underwater again. But they still aren't finding any big hauls of fish. This trap has no fish. They keep walking. Dang Dun begins to worry that they will go home empty-handed. They have been diving for half a day. Dang Dun is well aware of the potential lethal consequence of breathing from a hose connected to an air pump while diving.
ไอ้นั้นถ้าว่าแป๊บคาดหรือว่าทั้งระเบิดโอเคมันจะดูดไปเลยปุ๊บดูดเลยดูดติดเลยแต่ตาจะลุดเป็นคืบเลยปุ๊บเดียวเอาทันกับทันไม่ทันกับกะตีแล้วต้องให้เร็วทั้งระเบิดอันตรายแป๊บไปจักฟันนี้แล้วหรือว่าโดนพอดำนานๆเกินแป๊บมันจะโพงแล้วเปิดอันตรายนี่ยิงน้ำลึกยิงดำน้ำลึกด้วย
So with every step underwater, he must stay completely alert. While his eyes are scanning for the vague outline of the trap, his ears must be ready for any sign of the air pump's malfunction so that he can yank his mask off in time. Having searched underwater for almost half an hour, Dang Dun and his companion have finally found the trap. Without delay, they untie it from the weights and the rocks, preparing to move the trap to the surface. But how can they do that? Dang Dun puts his head in the tank and replaces the water with the air from the pump. The trap is beginning to float. In this way, the trap easily rises to the surface. After a long while, he has located another trap with a large school of fish inside. Here he has retrieved 2 traps with fish, but he has to keep moving to the many other spots where traps have been laid. Here he drops another trap and dives down to secure it. Then he will move on to other sites. Dang Tun has dove and surfaced almost a dozen times.
มันไม่ชัดเจนงานเลยเวลามันฟุกกับเอาไม่ทันอย่างเงี้ยบางทีเอาเวลาไม้กับตีการน้ำมันก็ไม่ลุดเวลามันทุกแล้วดีแต่ว่าเวลาไม่มีก็ไม่มี
Today, he has retrieved 6 traps full of fish. At least the sale of today's catch should cover the fuel price and his friends' wages. Dang Tun really hopes so. So far, he has been between losses and profits. Today, however, he feels more tired than usual. He has been diving for over 30 years and has experienced the bends several times. Perhaps he is getting weak. But he has no other choice.
นั่นแหละพอห้าครั้งห้าวเมื่อวานน้ำ30 เมตรวันนี้มันรุ่นนี้เลยจีดำมันก็ต้องห้าข้างโกริมโกห้าตื่นปือแต่ว่าห้าลึกเขาเรื่อยๆก็ไม่รอดแล้วทุกวันนี้เลยหากินเก็บก็ปือแต่ว่าข้างห้าวเรียงกับวางไม่ได้วันหลักวันดำเอาไอ้วันหลักเอาเราก็ทำไส้ดำลงไปมัดแต่วันมัดก็ถ้านำลึกไม่รู้จะทำปือนั่นแหละหากินก็มันยากเขาปือถ้าว่าดำน้ำลึกนั่นก็รุ่นนั้นก็ดำไม่ได้เลยมันต้องห้าแค่ข้างโกว่าข้างโกอุทยานจิกแล้วน้ำลึกก็ถึงมันยังปลาแต่ว่านั้นในร่างกายไม่สู้แล้วน้ำ30 เมตรปะนี้
It is 4 p.m. Their boat has made it ashore. Each of Dang Tun's friends on the trip has a share of the catch. Though there aren't a huge amount of them, the fish will help feed the friends for several days, until they are due to return to the sea. As for Dang Tun, he is going to sell his fish to a fishmonger in the market. This fishmonger is a regular client of Dang Tun's. Fish prices fluctuate according to market demand, rising in high season and dropping in low season. The fishermen's livelihoods therefore depend on these fluctuations too. Today, Dang Tun's sale of fish is worth a little over $100. He has not yet been paid in cash, but he will receive it in due time.
พอประกาศอุทยานตัววันนี้ก็หากินลำบากเลยเจาะห้อยตกมึกข้างคอเขาไม่ให้ตกเลยตัววันนี้นี่ชาวบ้านก็เที่ยวย่อมทำมาหากินอยู่วันนั้นมันก็ลำบากเขาเพื่อบ้านเราวันนี้มันหากินทางลี่ส่วนยางส่วนปาล์มก็ไม่มี
Well, at least Dang Dun does not have to buy fish to feed his family. It is with the joy of a special occasion that they relish Dang Dun's return from the sea. At the southeastern tip of Lantau Islands lies Sangka U village. On also worries about the village's future as their catch is shrinking. He is discussing a solution to this problem with his friends and his son.
Cuk kami, kita bubu demi banyak dah mata ringgit, ikan ringgit apa baik mata bu besar je. Ha? Baik bu besar. Dia ikan besar dikit kita kau mamong kau nama dia benjot, kau tukot. Kerja bu ni pisita kau ikan pakai harga kau $2 bu ringgit. Biar ikan besar tengah tu ada harga, minyak mahal ni gini.
Buat busa, banyak kita buat hun sekali buat busa kali ni. Buat napi buat bu demi harga minyak terlepas kan. Kita hoi ikat bu terlalu banyak ah. Pian buat tak ubah buat bu busa pula. Lihat tak kau boleh ambil kok ikat sebesar kok mamong, kok rudeng, kok sanok, kok nama. Ya baji dah buat busa kali ni.
Ya kalau kat kita kalau cak bahu kita kok kayu buat habis dah. Ui.
Buat ini dah kita.
Lai padat pun nanti lihat dulu belih baji. Terbelih pun nak pilih ha
Lawan laki.
They have decided to do something unprecedented, as they are confident this will lead them to catching more fish than ever before. On and his friends are making the biggest sai they have ever made. After 3 days, their giant sai is completed and ready for launch in the sea. This bright December morning is the opportune moment for On to lay this newly finished giant trap. Its destination is a sandy seabed far away from the park. He is full of hope that his giant trap will bring worthwhile returns. Yet deep down, he still feels apprehensive. There are fewer fishing areas and fish to catch. To make matters worse, his physical condition does not allow him to do deep dives anymore.
มันก็ต้องทำเอาปลาก็ไม่ได้เลยเดี๋ยวนี้เจาะห้อยดำห้อยริมโกก็ไม่ได้เลยก็ไม่รู้ทำเซ่เลย ประมงพื้นบ้านทุกวันนี้มันแคบเลยทำมาหากินนั่น
2 days ago, On received bad news. His close friend Dang Dun had died. Dang Dun suffered from the bends again while retrieving his trap in deep water. He was taken to hospital but did not make it. He was 52 when he died. Dang Dun's death reminds On to be more cautious when he dives. He can't take any risks. He has therefore brought along his only son for this trap-laying trip. On is determined to train his son On to succeed him as the family's breadwinner when he retires, which will be sooner rather than later. After 2 hours, they are at the trap-laying spot. On must time his dive extremely carefully. He does not want to experience the same fate as his friend Dang Dun. His son, has jumped into the water first to collect some rocks with which to weigh the trap down. This is a very deep spot with a descent of almost 40 metres. It takes the trap nearly 2 minutes to reach the seafloor. And his son are trying to get the trap into the right position on the seafloor. But it is a difficult and cumbersome task due to the trap's huge size. But at last, they succeed. Together, the father and son slowly edge the trap to a flat sandy area where it will be secured. Still, just because it is underwater does not mean it is safe.
เรือหลักเล็กก็ไม่น้อยมันหลักใส่ทุกวันมันกราดเรือปล่อยปั้นกราดใส่ดำไปตั้งเฉยๆบัดนี้เอาหมดเลยมันมีดาวมีเสาอะไรเรียบร้อยกัดเวียนถ้าว่าใส่กราดนี่หมดไปบางทีไปจม10 หน่วยเรือมา2 หน่วย
This is not their only problem. Diving tour companies without a proper understanding of the sea dwellers' way of life are also a problem.
สร้างชาวบ้านเหมือนกันนะชาวบ้านจมไม่รู้ตั้งกี่10 ปีแล้ว30-40 ปีแล้วมันป่าฝรั่งไปหัวตัดหมดใส่ของเพื่อนจบกลางห้าวเลยยังป่าฝรั่งไปดำไปตัดไปผ้าของเขาไปว่า
Finally, it is time for the most significant custom for the Urak Lewois of the Lanta Islands. On every 13th waxing moon day of the 6th and 11th months, maritime inhabitants of every corner of the sea will assemble at the Dartok Shrine, which is central to the community's ancestral worship. They will offer 7-colour rice and 7-colour desserts, along with many other dishes as a sacrifice. The shaman will officiate the boat launching ceremony and invite their ancestors' spirits to join in. The boat launching ceremony is an ancient custom of sea nomads. Its first purpose is to repel bad luck and divert evil from the tribe's lives, as the evil is supposedly carried away by the boat. Its other purpose is to send the souls of those having died in that year back to their original realm, the vast expanse of the sea called Gunung Shirai, or the birthplace of the sea gypsies. The shaman will offer apologies to their ancestors' spirits and the guardian spirits of the forest and the sea, whom the community members might have unintentionally offended. The most important part of this ceremony is the making of the boat. The builders will offer apologies to the guardian spirits of the forest as a gesture of reverence for sustaining them, before asking for permission to cut down a devil's tree to make the boat's keel. Meanwhile, young men of the village will trek into the forest to cut some salak trees. They will remove their bark in preparation for making the boats. That evening, everyone gathers to discuss the making of the boat. From this moment on, they are committed to spending all night building a boat from salak wood. Everyone knows his duty so well. They speed up their work to make sure the boat will be finished by noon the next day, the 14th waxing moon day. Early in the morning, the big salak wood boat called Blajak is completed. Its hull has been carved to sport a shark teeth motive resembling the king of the sea. Its bow and cabin canopy feature carved birds, symbolising navigators. The midsection bears a carved image of drummers who lulled their ancestors' souls during the journey to their Gunung Shirai. When the time is right, the Urak Lawois gather to parade their Blajak boat to the beach for the next stage of the ritual. Cheerful and vibrant, the parade is rooted in the belief that the more joyful the participants are, the happier the deceased ancestors' spirits will be. That night, the Blajak boat will be even more beautifully adorned. Every family will bring rice, dried food and money and put them together with the deceased's hair and nails in the Blajak boat. This is performed to repel bad luck as well as to ask for a blessing of prosperous lives and abundance. Then all the villagers will take turns dancing around the boat. Everyone tries to make as many rounds of the boat as possible, believing that the more rounds they do, the more happiness can be experienced by their ancestors. They will continue dancing until dawn without any sleep. The 15th waxing moon day has dawned. the shaman is examining the candle flame to determine if the ancestors' souls are ready for the journey. At the shaman's signal, the appointed men will carry the plajak boat on their shoulders to the longtail boat, which is waiting on the beach in front of the village. It's time for the boat launch. The atonement for their violation of other marine lives is about to begin. This is also an opportunity to pray that the fertility of the sea will be restored. The longtail boat carries a ceremonial boat out into the vast sea. The shaman will determine where and when to launch the plajak boat. Usually it is launched in an area where the current flows out to make sure the boat will never return to the shore. Now their ancestors have completed the journey to their Gunung Shirai, the birthplace of sea gypsies. "15 days have passed. On and his son Om are at sea once again. Their boat is heading towards an underwater rock pile outside the park. They hope the giant trap they laid 2 weeks earlier will now be full. They pin their hope on nature, which is uncontrollable and unmanageable. Whether they get enough fish is dependent only on luck. Is luck on their side today? Though the sea is quite clear today, the water is still 40 metres deep. They don't have much time. On the seabed, the pair search for their trap. Clumps of dead coral make it easier for them to walk underwater. Alas, despite their expectations, there are not many fish in the trap, just a small school of jacks. So be it. At least these fish fetch a good price. Unlike with the smaller trap, they have to enter the trap to gather the fish before taking them up onto the boat. Om has to help his father straighten the trawl inside the trap and corral the fish into it. This method will not bruise the fish, so they will fetch a good price at the market. Though their catch is small, Jack should sell for a good price.
สมัยก่อนหากินบายสมัยก่อนมาเดี๋ยวนี้มันหากินลำบากสักทีเลยปลาก็หายากเลยปลาห้อยกุ้งมันหายากเลยทุกวันก็ไม่ทราบเหมือนกันมันประชากรมันมาอุปกรณ์ก็มันแปลกๆเลยทุกวันนี้มันผลิตมาแบบทันสมัยมั้งหายากเขาเรื่อยๆ
ขอบคุณครับ
Om has decided to sell their catch of jacks to his friend's shop in the seafood market on Phuket's Rawai Beach. Here, the price may be higher.
Habis dah.
Habis kan saya?
Lapnya boleh bawa kilo?
1 kilo.
Oh. Baji. ใครไหมครับ
180ครับพี่ไม่เอาตัวใหญ่
นี่เหรอ
ครับ
มันใหญ่ไปอ่ะเอา2ตัว
Om
ให้ช่างหน่อย
has sold his jacks at $6 US per kilogram. From his catch of jacks alone, he has earned over $200. Not bad at all. After deducting the fuel cost, he can keep quite a sizable sum.
5 กิโล 2 ครับ
5 กิโล 2ครับ
ทั้งหมด 1,000 บาทครับ2ตัวนี้ครับเอา2ตัวนี้ก็ได้
Still, such a chance does not often present itself. With fewer areas left for their traps, they have to dive in deeper water. More fishermen mean more traps, and each catch tends to get smaller. Their lives and livelihoods are therefore at risk.
ไม่รู้อนาคตนี้ลูกๆล้านๆไม่รู้จะทำอะไร เราคิดว่ารู้นี่แล้วยังทำไม่ได้เพราะลูกๆล้านๆต่อไปนักก็คือนี่หนังอยู่ทุกวันแต่นึกว่านี่ทุกวันลูกๆล้านๆต่อไปมันจะทำอะไรกิน
On hopes the park will somehow compromise with them. Their demand is simple. All they need is some fishing areas to sustain their livelihood and survive.
แต่ว่ามันอนุโลมมันนั่นเลยเราแรงว่าแต่ว่าอนุโลมว่าหน้าฝนให้จมใส่จมไรมั่งหวังอ้วนมั่งให้ชาวบ้านทำหลังก้อนเปิดให้โบชาวบ้านทำมาหากินมั่งหน้าแรงให้เข้ามาเกี่ยวมาทำไรมั่ง
On and his son are heading to the sea again. Just like all the other sea nomads and their families, this is the only career they can pursue. Life goes on, but added to it is the hardship of making a living this way. They still place themselves in fate's hands, hoping the gods of the sea will help them, just as their ancestors did for nearly 100 years.
ไม่รู้จะทำอะไรดีคิดไม่ออกเหมือนกันคิดออกก็อยู่วันนี้แล้วพอเก๋ก็อยู่กับบ้านแล้วรู้ใครจะเลี้ยงนี่เอาเบียร์รัดด้วยเดือนละ100